Hey y'all, Eric here. Sorry about the offshoot of the camera. I just don't even feel like putting it up there. But anyway, so this has been one of the um, more annoying days that I've had trying to get all this stuff done um, without a car. Um, and I usually don't talk about that because it is what it is. Plenty of people don't have cars. And try to navigate this, from where I currently live. It is a 20-minute walk to the nearest bus stop before I actually get on the bus. And so today I had two errands to run. I was doing an errand for my housemate while he was at work. He's in a situation, so I tried to help him, been helping him with that all week. And first, I get to the bus stop and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is or anything like that. But the bus is always late. And they keep saying that it's live tracking on the CATS app. It is not. It is not. When a bus is delayed, it is updated by an actual person, not the system. And so, as an example, today I was picking up the bus at the corner of Milan Road and Capitol Mine Road at that bus stop, which was scheduled at 2:18. I got to the bus stop at 2:12. When I opened the app, it said that the bus was delayed by 3 minutes. And I said, okay. When I see that, I just go ahead and walk to the next bus, which is one block, because there is an abandoned house that's all the windows were covered and things like that. So nobody lives in that house. Um, but it has this big tree for shade because at that time it was 89 degrees and the dew point was 75 degrees, which means, just like some of these weather people say, weather that you can wear. And so when I got there, um, it was like a minute or so after that, and I started getting wet, sweating, and um, had my water bottle and everything. Then I looked at the app again, and it was delayed either much further. And so again, it was supposed to be at that stop at 2:18, but the apps said that it was going to be 7 minutes late. And then it became 8 minutes late. Then it became 9 minutes late. Then I saw the bus because when I'm at that corner at Capsule Mine and French Street, I can see the bus coming through the neighborhood and making a left turn to go deeper into the neighborhood before it comes out on Milan to Capsule Mine. So then it was that. So generally speaking, most of the time when I see it, it's only two more minutes. It took that bus driver 6 minutes to come out of the neighborhood to where I was. And so when it picked me up, we were already behind by 10 minutes. Now, my first errand was at Independent Tire and Auto on Beatty's Ford Road. It's in between two bus stops. And so when I started setting up my journey, I said, well, if I can pick up the 2:18, I can get to that bus stop, the normal bus stop, right around 2:20, 2:25, and then I can walk down. It's like a half block do this and everything, and then just walk down to the intersection of Cindy Lane and Beatty Ford to pick up the bus 7, the Beatty Ford Road bus. And I would have, based on when the number 7 was coming through, I had 15 minutes between the time I got off the bus until the 7 came. Well, because the 13 was late, I already knew that I was going to miss that bus, number 7. So I got to the repair shop and walked in, and there was somebody in front of me, and it was not, as soon as I heard it, it was not going to be a short conversation. So I just waited, and the repair shop it's I mean, it's an owner, it's owned, and it's a Spanish guy owns the shop. But most of the repair people there, their main language is Spanish. Some of them really can't speak English very, very well. And so the guy at the desk was talking to someone about her car and about it being overheated, and it wasn't overheated, and he was trying to educate her about why it didn't overheat during the highway, but it overheats when she's driving and railing things. Something was wrong with her fans. Um, Something was wrong with her fans, and so um, anyway, I stood in line, and then as soon as I'm glad I got in there when I did, because within a minute, a family of 4 came in, and then this other guy came in, and then this other person came in. So the lobby was a little bit busy. And then another repair person came in. He just sat down. So he couldn't, I'm assuming that since he's a repair person and he was speaking to someone else in Spanish, another repair person, and he couldn't do anything. So the guy who was talking to that person acknowledged me and said, in fact, just acknowledged everybody, saying, "I'll get with you. I'll be with you as soon as I can." So that was fine. Um, and I've been in line for 10 minutes. So again, the bus was 10 minutes late, and now I'm in line 10 minutes and haven't even started with my thing, the request. So after that, probably within, he got on the phone and was talking to someone, I believe in a parts place, maybe Advance Auto, about a part. And then he got off the phone and he asked her to step aside, and then he brought me up. So 15 minutes. What I needed was a receipt and all of that. And that only took not even a minute. Once he pulled it up, he printed it out, and I gave him some information, and um, got the paper and was on my way. By this time, I was supposed to be on the 7N at 2:43, but now I'm approaching 3 o'clock. So I got down and I pulled up the app, and the next bus was supposed to come at 2:58. Said it was early, but it wasn't. It was late. And so I got on the bus. The bus came down at 3:05 then it was scheduled for 3 o'clock. So somewhere between 3:50 and 3:05, it lost 7 minutes. So got on the bus, scanned. No, this bus I tried to scan and it wasn't working. fact, the machine, the scanner was out of order. So um, I filed, and I'm that guy. I filed a complaint about the number 13 being late, and got that taken care of. And then I was approaching Atrium Health at is that 5 Points? No, it's not 5 Points, but it's the intersection of Beatty's Ford, Trade Street, Rossell's Ferry, and Fifth Street. Four corners, right, just right there at Johnson C. Smith. Because I had to pick up I was out of test strips, um, and I needed my test strips for my blood test each morning um, to test my blood sugar, type 2. So got down, and by this time it's 3:15. So I got in, nobody in front of me. There was nobody at the window. So I waited for about 3 minutes, and then a very nice lady came up, and she asked me to hang on because Medspeed, the people who pick up the stuff, um, got in there and they're priority. So then she was able to take from me. So I was in line for um, 4 minutes, and then she pulled me up and said, "Yep, it's ready." And I had a question about my order, and she answered it. But then she was trying to find my order, but she couldn't find it. By this time, it's 3:15, and she couldn't find it. Then the person who was at the next window, who was doing dropped off prescriptions to be filled, she got out of her chair and was looking for it, trying to help her. They couldn't find it. So then I saw a box that looked like my test strips, but that was something else, and it was another order. Because I thought maybe they put it in the area where my first initial rather than my last name initial. So then 3 other people came out, and they were looking and looking and looking and looking and couldn't find it. By now it's 3:20. And then the person who was helping me asked them, were there any orders in the back that weren't put on there? So about 3 minutes later, they finally found it. Yep, finally found it. And so doing all that, she gave it to me, and then I walked out of there. The transaction again only took less than a minute for her to scan it. I had to sign, I put it in my bag, and I was on my way. Less than a minute. But I was in there from 3:20 to 3:35, even though my transaction only took less than a minute. So again, that was my second errand. And then I'm trying to figure out, am I going to take the Gold Star streetcar, or am I going to take the bus? So both the bus was supposed to come 2 minutes before the streetcar, but the streetcar is in traffic just like the bus. But the bus, its route, it would go up Fifth Street to Graham and then Trade. The streetcar just goes straight down Trade. But it hits at every stop and every light, opens the door, waits, and it takes time for it to get down there. The streetcar is slow. It is. So I decided to do the bus. So I crossed the street, and then I was waiting, and then I looked, and of course, this bus lost time. So he came around by, I want to say, maybe 3:45, and so I got on the bus. Nothing wrong. Scanned, showed my ID, sat down, sent text to the housemate to let him know I got the errand for him taken care of. And then I'm getting downtown and I pull the cord and I'm waiting. So then but then there was some trash on there, and I thought most buses have a little small trash can up front to drop off all of that. But of course, that bus didn't have it. So, um, and I'm trying to woosah, get the annoyance out, um, because the people at Independence Tire and the people at Atrium Health Middle Point, nobody was rude or anything, um, but I'm on a schedule. I'm on a schedule, and I have stuff to do, and so the frustration is depending on others instead of me. And in this situation, others, I just need a receipt at one place. I needed my prescription at another place. I'm trying to get to the gym before the tower people, I call the people who work downtown the tower people, before they come into the gym and take up all the machines. Because the Planet Fitness I go to downtown at the corner of 4th Street and Tryon, and it's in the US Bank building. And so I got off the bus, but then I'm helping the bus driver because he was about to let me off at Trade and Tryon, which I appreciate. It would help my legs from walking uphill. But that stop is actually for the streetcar. And now, technically, the bus could stop there and offload me. No issues with people walking and getting on the platform and then walking, but they're not supposed to do that. Mainly for safety, because if somebody's on a walker or a wheelchair, I'm not sure that the wheelchair ramp that has to come out and come down would allow that to be safe. So the buses really aren't supposed to stop there. But some bus drivers will do it. Or even ask, do you want to be off right here? But anyway, I told him where the other bus was, and it was downhill almost to College Street, not too far from College Street. And so he was there, and I was in the front of the bus, so I had to walk all the way back up. And I got all the way back up, and then finally got to the gym. And I've gotten to a habit now when I'm on the bus, I change from my sun hat. I put my gloves on and then put my workout hat on, my ball cap, and then I'm ready to go. All I got to do is drop my bag, get my lockout, get my selfie stick out, because I have to use a timer so I don't waste time in between sets. So I got my workout done and went to Starbucks and spent money that I really shouldn't have, but it was only $4. Got that taken care of, and then I'm getting to the platform, and I'm walking through Queen City Corner, formerly known as the Epic Center, which is where you go right there for the platform for the train. And there's this couple, clearly maybe on a date. The guy had something in his hand, so they were waiting. I guess they were waiting on their table. It had started raining, and I had my umbrella out. And they were kind of like standing aside, and I said, "Excuse me." They didn't move. So I could have gone in front of them or behind them, but I have an umbrella. They didn't even acknowledge me and didn't move. So I just kept saying it. And I got louder as I got closer, to intentionally interrupt their intentionally interrupt their conversation. Because honestly, they were being rude, by not just stepping a couple of steps out of the way. So here I am, um, and they were tall. They were tall, and so I'm having to raise my umbrella up to get around them, and all that. And I just let them know. Um, I don't know who they thought they were or not. All they had to do was acknowledge it. Just take two steps forward. That's all they had to do. So now my annoyance is back, and I get to the platform. It's raining, not hard, but the platform right there is covered. And so I was able to close my thing. I was able to eat my banana, but I couldn't get my earbuds to work. And that was a big annoyance, when I was leaving the gym. Because here it is, I take a tablet with me, in case I need to do a little bit of work, um, or if I have a class, then I can look at some things while I'm working out. But now that I'm out of class, then I just watch my smart news, because now apparently a cable was cut, and so the TVs, the channels in my gym on the TVs are blank. So I watch YouTube in between sets and all that. So, but my earbuds, they're paired to my phone and my tablet. And I felt stupid because I couldn't figure out why I kept having to disconnect from one device so that the other device, the earbuds, would work. And I finally figured it out that my earbuds may not be eligible for multi-point or dual point connection. So now I got to find the box, get the name, I got them from Amazon. So I'm just going to Amazon, go to the website, and see if there's supposed to be an app that you can download, and then you enable that, and I may be able to, set it up so that I don't have to disconnect from devices. I can just go from one to the other. So, but that's an annoyance. That's going to take time. And today is trash day, so I take care of most of the household stuff, because technically I'm not working. That's another thing. I'm looking for a job. It's one reason why I was in school, and but I was trying to get home at a decent hour. But I'm also on my neighborhood's HOA secretary, and I'm the community efficiency chair, and I'm trying to get some things fixed. And one of the vendors called me today, just confirm some information, and I wasn't able to confirm it over the phone. So I had to walk through the neighborhood because we're getting, some stop signs taken care of, and we're getting streetcars taken care of. So, um, street signs taken care of. And so by this time, I've gotten on the train, I've gotten up to Sugar Creek Bay, and I get off, and then I look at my watch in the app, and I knew that the bus that I was looking for, the number 13, was scheduled to leave the bay at 6:25. Well, the driver of the train, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's safety issues or whatever, but the Blue Line is a high-speed rail train. It controls the intersections. Now, there are some stupid people in Charlotte. There are. I've seen people before in their cars, how they get their cars on the actual track going in the same direction as the train is beyond me. But I've seen the pictures and I've seen the reports of that. That delays the train. So when I got to the platform, I didn't even look at the app. I was just concerned, and so I could eat my banana because I just finished my protein bar and all of that. And so I'm walking, and then I look, and it's 6:24. So I got 1 minute. And because of them doing some new concrete stuff at the actual bus stop bays at that station, um, you have to go all the way to the other side of the building to pick up the bus. And depending on the bus driver, they're not going to wait. Even if you're walking, they're not going to wait. So I got down there, no bus at 6:25. So I'm waiting around, and somebody else had been waiting around, and I look at the app, and now that bus is delayed, and the one that's scheduled for 7 o'clock, it's also delayed. Like, how can that even be delayed? But I have an idea, but I'm not going to talk about that on this video. So the 6:25 then was delayed and rescheduled to come to the stop at 6:30. 6:30 comes and goes. No bus. 6:35 comes and the bus finally shows up. By this time, the rain has started again. And this time, the bus driver pulled up, but it didn't occur to me that they may have wheelchair on there because where the bus has to stop now, there's grass. It's the curb, and or kind of like the median, the right of way, and you can't. You have to make sure that the platform, the wheelchair platform, will come across that to the sidewalk. So they just came up to the street, make sure that the platform comes down to the street so the wheels will roll fine. Well, then the bus drivers, apparently, this was an end of shift for one and a beginning of a shift for another one. They annoyed me because they decided to have a conversation. There were other passengers on the bus coming off, and there was some argument between this guy and this woman. Um, she had money in her hand, so it's possible that maybe the machine wouldn't, and they were trying to get transfers and all this, that, and the other. And he and I were about to have words because he was yelling at her, and he was in my ear first. He was standing beside me, and I had my earbuds on and had my music on. Then he decided to get behind me, and he was still yelling, and I was motioning to turn around. And I heard her say something, move, you yelling at these people's ears. And I was waiting for him to say, I don't care. I was waiting on him to say it, but he didn't. So then they finally got taken care of. And then finally, this person in the wheelchair was able to get off. And then there was an elderly disabled person who was in a walker who was taking her time to get off so they could get on. Some of them were going to the platform, and another one was going on the bus. But then they decided to have this conversation. By now, we are 15 minutes late leaving. And the bus drivers don't seem to be bothered. That other bus had come behind this bus. And those people who got off the bus, they had already been on that bus, and that bus was on its way. So I'm on my phone, and I'm filing yet another complaint. And Katz, I believe that Katz is familiar with me. And I've told one of the supervisors, I'm not going to do this because there are a lot of people who ride the system and they're just numb to it. It is what it is. But some of the stuff that happens, it's unacceptable. You've got people who need to go places. And for two drivers to dismiss that and just stand there and have a 5 to 7 minute conversation about nothing really that had to do with the buses while we are behind is unacceptable. At least it's unacceptable to me. And then I've got this other stuff that I have to do when I get home. So my day essentially has been hijacked because I don't have my own car. So, and that's nobody's fault but mine. It's nobody's fault but mine. Or actually, I wouldn't say fault. I would say that's nobody's issue but mine. But I want people to care about their jobs. And I understand that being a cat's driver is a thankless job because they only pay you to drive, but they expect you to be other things. They expect you to be a counselor. They expect you to be a behavioral specialist to know when somebody's acting out of character or how to handle them. They expect them to be security on those buses. They expect them to be police on those buses. They expect this one person to do all of that while they're driving. And if they have to pull that bus over because of a situation, and then they have to call their supervisor, the rest of us, our journeys are hijacked. There's a better way. But they're not asking the people who ride the buses what we think is the better way. And I'm not going to get into this whole thing about the train versus the buses. I've done other videos on that. Other videos will come, but not today. Because I'm already 30 minutes into this video and I thought it was only going to be maybe 10 minutes. This should let you know how annoyed I am. And I still got other crap I have to do. I haven't even eaten yet, and today's trash day, as I said. So this has been a very frustrating day. And I just gotta figure something out. I gotta figure something out. But anyway, if you view this video, and I guess the main purpose of this video is so I can get it out. So I can get it out. And so I won't have to think about it after this. So I can get the rest of my crap done. But just like the guy that I was about to go off on, I mean, I don't know what happened to him on the bus. And to be honest with you, I don't care. He just didn't need to be in my ear. There were people on the train that were, I guess they were visiting. I was annoyed with them because there were like 8 of them. 2 of the women had babies. There was an elderly lady. They were trying to move seats. And this person, they were trying to tell me to come out. I said, I got a backpack. Can y'all just sit down and then I can get by before the train starts moving? And they were just taking their sweet time about sitting down. I'm pretty sure they thought I was rude. But they were being rude. You were using the seat, so sit down so other people can get by before there's an accident. And they were only going up one platform because they were going to a specific restaurant. There were 8 seats. They took up 7 of them. There were 7 individuals that took up 7 individual seats. And the seats are double seated. So that annoys me too. But anyway, so they got off. So people just annoy the fuck out of me today. Sorry for the language. But then I'm going down the neighborhood taking pictures for that vendor I was talking about. Then I saw some other stuff, and I'm just the plan was to take a nap and then get up so I can do all this other stuff. But then that's hijacked now because I'm looking at my clock and it's almost 10 o'clock and I haven't even gotten the shower yet. So, and I'm going to be up late, which means I'll be sleeping late and all this, that, and the other. So, but anyway, I hope your day wasn't as annoying as mine. And thanks for listening. And I will see you on the next one.